Slavery began with the plantation system because plantation owners needed workers to do the laborious and scrutinizing fieldwork that it entailed. They needed the workers for their own success. This began in the southernmost colonies where tobacco and rice plantations were common. Slavery began in the late 1600s, early 1700s. In some previous groups, slaves could work their way to freedom, but not in the colonies, where the common idea of slavery spread from the south to the east.
Captives from the coast were traded for guns and other goods, then loaded onto slave ships and transported across the Atlantic on a brutal voyage that became known as the Middle Passage. Many slaves were bound together onto one small ship.
We should be grateful and thankful to see, to smell.
The slave trade, 10 million enslaved Africans were transported to the Americas between the 1500s and the 1800s. The Spanish and Portuguese brought the first Africans to the Americas. British, Dutch, and French also entered the slave trade.
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. When Jesus washed.
By about 1700, slave traders in the British colonies had developed a regular routine known as the triangular trade. The triangular trade was a three-way trade between the colonies, the islands of the Caribbean, and Africa. On the first of three voyages, ships from New England carried fish, lumber, and other goods to the Caribbean islands, or West Indies.
Oh, happy day.
On the second voyage, ships carried rum, guns, and other goods from New England to West Africa. On the last voyage, ships carried their human cargo to the West Indies for sale. Many New England merchants became very wealthy off of the triangular trade. They would also disobey the Navigation Acts by buying molasses and other goods from other European colonies. They then smuggled it back to England.
Early efforts to resist slavery failed, and slavery became exclusive to Africans. This factor led to the rise of racism because white people believed they were superior over the slaves.
The lives of enslaved Africans differed greatly from colony to colony. In the cities of the North, they were often hired out to work as blacksmiths or house servants. On smaller farms, slaves would work alongside the owner, and over time they may become free.
Despite all the hardships, things such as music, language, objects such as furniture, instruments, and folktales found its way into the American culture and continued to influence it today.